Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I wanted to talk about a video that WASD20 just did, and something he said that I really want to signal boost. So he did a video, and he said, these are literally his words. He said, D&D is the standard bearer for our hobby. It is the only game that reaches beyond the niche of our hobby. Period. Right? And 100% correct, right? Like it's just, and the reason why I'm saying is I've been saying this for a while, and if you just listen to what he just said, what that really means is that OSR and Indy have done nothing, right? D&D came out in 1974. It had a competitor before the year. I think its first competitor came out in 1975, which means that the OSR and the Indy have had 49 years to equal D&D, and not one of, like, Dungeons & Dragons does not compete with any game in the market. It literally competes with every game in the market and has never been beaten for even a single minute. All right, it's so far ahead, it utterly dominates its industry. And I don't want to be dismissive of WASD20. He has a good channel. And what he does is he just talks about Dungeons & Dragons from like, hey, here's how to make a map. And here's how to, like, what does he do? Like, I go over to his, I end up clicking on his face like once every 6 months. And I think the reason why I don't go back too much is it's pretty standard fare, right? It's just like, hey, D&D is the thing. Here's how I play D&D. How do you play D&D? And also this one of the reasons why I kind of left his stuff is he's one of these guys who are like, well, let me tell you how to play Dungeons & Dragons, but also let me tell you, any way you play Dungeons & Dragons is just okay. So why the heck did I even have to open my mouth? I really didn't, right? I just told you that nothing I said is going to matter in your game, and that whatever you choose to do is just fine. What the heck? Why are you opening your ridiculous mouth, right? And I didn't want to be dismissive, but I guess I was just dismissive there. He's just a bog standard, vanilla normie talking about D&D, but even he could see OSR and Indy have done nothing in 49 years. Nothing, right? D&D is the standard bearer, okay? And D&D is the only game to reach outside of the TTRPG niche. It's the only one known, right, to the public, right? The public doesn't even know what TTRPGs are, but they know that D&D exists, and they don't even actually know what D&D is, but they know about D&D. Like, D&D is that person at the party, and you're like, hey, this is MacGyver, right? And you're like, oh, I've heard about you, right? And you don't know anything about him, but you've heard about him, right? The name precedes the person, right? And that's D&D. And this is WASD20 saying exactly what I've been saying. OSR and Indy in 49 years have and by the way, OSR and Indy are now 50 years old, right? And they've produced absolutely nothing, right? They've never been able to equal Dungeons & Dragons in any significant way, right? And I think that's interesting. Now, WASD20 said a bunch of blah 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 that was highly repeated, right? Like you've heard it 15 times on I don't like WotC, I don't like Hasbro, blah 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 blah, right? But his platform, one of the things but his one thing was saying, hey, the one thing in the video that has incredible value is, hey, D&D is the standard bearer. This is not debatable. A bog standard vanilla normie is saying this, right? Like, his stuff is as regular as he gets, right? And I get, if I'm saying, hey, D&D is the standard bearer, OSR and Indy have done nothing. I get it. I get people questioning everything I say. I get it, because I have unusual ideas. My channel is very small. There's lots of reasons to be dismissive of my content. I understand it, right? Doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm just dismissed. But a lot of people are dismissed. Copernicus was dismissed. Oh, no. I assure you, sir, the sun revolves around the earth. No, it doesn't. right? Like Copernicus is like, yeah, I know you're being dismissive. I know I got a small channel, right? I know people don't like to hear what I'm saying, but I assure you, the sun revolves around the earth, right? Like, I am the Copernicus of D&D, right? Like, yeah, what I'm saying sounds wrong to you, it ain't. A bunch of people are gonna go, oh, Scott Garibay was right. It's already started happening, right? Like, in a lot of ways. But yeah, okay. But here's the kicker, right? If what he's saying is correct, and it is, D&D is the standard bearer, and literally not a single OSR or indie game ever has reached outside the TTRPG niche to reach the public in any meaningful way, then what that means is you need to seal your stinking, flapping maw about Hasbro and WotC. And here's why. When you down D&D, and actually, I do think if you watch his video, I think he put up evidence for this position, okay? Actually, I think he said it specifically in his video. Go check. Yeah. I'll link below where his video is. Okay. So I think he was saying the following, right? People, and I actually think he specifically says this in the video. Depends on how you're taking what he's saying. If you down D&D and people are like, oh, D&D sucks, they don't go play other OSR and indies. Everybody on the OSR and indie is like, oh, if I virtually kick Hasbro and WotC in the virtual nards, then that means people will go, oh, look at that person. Look at WotC and Hasbro. Their stuff sucks. Oh, I better go right over to Cobbled Press. And the ridiculous part is, no, fool, they're not going to go right over to Cobbled Press. They've never heard of it. They're going to go play another round of Call of Duty. You don't put your own TTRPG forward by downing D&D. I know you think you do. You don't, right? And I think if you watch WASD's video, WASD20, and I'm sorry, I was kind of dismissive of him earlier. He's got a great channel. It's just not good for me. It's like pickles, right? I don't like pickles. That doesn't mean pickles are bad. It's just, I just don't like them, right? And I don't like people taking the time to repeat what a million other people have said about D&D on the internet. I don't understand why so many people do it. Like, at least make your content unique. All right. Anyway, all right. This is the point, right? If you think you can, all these OSRs and indies are like, oh, if I talk smack about D&D, that's good. They're gonna everyone will go, oh, D&D sucks. They're gonna run right over to Bubble Gumshoe. No, fool, they're not, right? You are downing the entire hobby, right? When you down D&D, you're downing the entire hobby, because not a single OSR or indie game has ever made themselves prominent enough to even be recognized by the public. So when people walk away from D&D, they don't try OSR and indie games. They go to video games, period, end of sentence, right? So WASD20, he's absolutely right. Here's the point of his video. D&D is the standard bearer for our hobby, period, end of sentence. No game has ever reached beyond the TTRPG niche as D&D has. He's 100% correct about these. And the part that we need to add on to it, and I think he made this point marginally, I'm going to make it crystal clear. If you down D&D, you are just harming the hobby. You are not pushing people to OSRs and indies. And I think a ton of people think they are. You're not, right? And the other thing is, there's just a million people, oh, I love D&D. I just want to destroy the current D&D. Well, guess what? You suck. You suck as a person, period. End of sentence. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.